plot these 4 polar points and then convert the polar coordinate to rectangular coordinate, which is Cartesian coordinate. So first one is 7, 3 pi over 2. So 7 is r. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3 pi over 2 is right there. So we have a point starting at 7 and then we spin 270 degrees and then we stop right there. Get rid of that. And then the next one is 8. This is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then negative pi over 4. So this is positive pi over 4. That is counterclockwise. Negative pi over 4. So that will be right there. So here is the point that we want. And then the next one is 3 pi over 4. 3 pi over 4 is right here. So we have 0, 1, and 2. And then you spin to 3 pi over 4, which is right here. So that is at that place. We have to draw a point first. And then what else do I have to correct? This will be negative, right? So that means we have to reflect 180 degrees. 180 degrees. So that means we have to go from quadrant 2 to quadrant 4. So instead of here, so we have to add 180 degrees. So this is over 4, this is over 4, right? So we have to be right here. So jump 180 degrees, then you will go from this position to this position. So erase that, and then we have to erase that point. The point that we just erased is not the answer of this question, all right? The point right there is the answer. And then we have negative r and negative theta. So first of all, where is pi over 6? This is pi over 6. And then negative pi over 6 is right here. So we have 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Negative pi over 6. We have right there, but this point is temporary. So negative pi over 4, that means we have to reflect 180 degrees. So we have to jump from quadrant 4 to quadrant 2. So this is the over 6, and then this one is the 5 pi over 6. So you have a 330 degree, subtract 180 degree, that equals to 150 degree. So at that line, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we erase the scratch word. All right, so that's the 4 plots now. So we have 4 polar coordinate. What I want you to do is I want you to convert them to rectangular coordinate x comma y. So let's do that right here. So do you still remember the formula? So what we are trying to do right now is I have a polar. So given a polar coordinate. So we have r theta, and then we have to convert to Cartesian or rectangular x comma y. So we already covered the formula in the previous problem. So you have r and theta. So in a rectangular, you have x equals to, you take the r times cosine of theta. The y is equals to r times sine of theta. We already go over how to get these formulas out in the previous videos. You can go check that out. So the first point, we have 7, 3 pi over 2. All you have to do is just plug it in, r and theta. So we have x equals to r, which is 7, and then times cosine of 3 pi over 2. So cosine 3 pi over 2, don't use your calculator. 3 pi over 2, you use your unit circle, 3 pi over 2. So that one at 3 pi over 2, the y-axis between quadrant 3 and quadrant 4, x is equals to 0. So that will be 7 times 0 equals to 0. And then y is equals to r times sine of 3 pi over 2. At that point, y is equals to -1. So 7 times -1 is -7. So therefore, my Cartesian coordinate or rectangular coordinate is 0, -7. Okay, so the next one, we have b. b is r equals to 8, theta equals to negative pi over 4. Just plug in. So we have x equals to r times cosine negative pi over 4. So that will be r times, so negative pi over 4 is in quadrant 4. X is positive, so that will be a root 2 over 2. Again, if you don't know how I get the root 2 over 2, you have to review your unit circle. and then how to evaluate the six-trig function. If you don't remember this at all, you have to review it. Unit circle. So that is equals to 4 times root 2, and then y is equals to r times sine of theta, so negative pi over 4. In quadrant 4, y is negative, so you have 8 times negative root 2 over 2, then you get negative 4 root 2 over 2, so the xy coordinate, which is the Cartesian coordinate, rectangular coordinate, is 4 root 2, comma, negative 4 root 2. Okay, so that would be a B, and then a C. We have a negative 2, and then 3 pi over 4, and then that is r comma theta, so x is equals to, we have r times cosine, so which is negative 2, negative 2 times cosine of 3 pi over 4. So 3 pi over 4 is in quadrant 2, x is negative, so then we have negative 2 times negative root 2 over 2, so that is equals to positive root 2. And then y is equals to r times sine of theta. In quadrant 2, y is positive, so that will be negative 2 times positive root 2 over 2, so that is positive root 2, and then my Cartesian coordinate or rectangular coordinate is root 2, comma, negative root 2. And then the last one, D, we have negative x and negative y, so we have a negative 4, comma, negative pi over 6. So negative 4 is r, negative pi over 6 is theta, so x is equals to r times cosine of theta. So negative pi over 6 is in quadrant 4, x is negative, so negative 4 times, at quadrant 4, x is positive, so we have a root 3 over 2, so that is equals to negative 2 times root 3, and then the y coordinate, we have r times sine of theta, that is negative pi over 6. In quadrant 4, y is negative, so negative root 3 divided by 2, then we have a positive. Is that a, pi over 6, pi over 6, pi over 6, mistake. Maybe I should review my unit circle, so that is a mistake. The pi over 6 is the y coordinate is negative 1/2, so negative 4 times negative 1/2 is equals to 2, so the rectangular coordinate is negative 2 root 3, comma, 2. Alright, so that is the end of this problem. If you think this instruction is helpful, like, subscribe, share. I appreciate your help really much. I still have the next part. The next part is I will show you how to graph a polar equation using calculator. All right, I will see you all in there. Signing out for now. See you in the next one.